So here are the different sizes that I have made as my son has grown. This was the first one, mixed with a lovely soft, has a fleece inside, little back. So my daughter's one was made with this, and she also had a little bit of the rocket, and they like matching for now. And so that was pair number 1. Pair number 2 needed an upgrade. We didn't have any more blue left, so we just went with the rockets. And there you can see just how much they can grow in a year. So that was number 2, and now we're going to work on number 3. And ironically, my son is now 3. I did also make a matching jackets or top. Now, this is the full winter matching top that I made, again using the blue. My daughter's one was the opposite way around. It was mainly blue, and then just with the rockets on the one side and a little pocket. Very nice, soft and comfy collar. That's the key to comfy jammies, isn't it? For it to be soft. So this one still fits in, so I won't be making another one like this, but when I do, I'll show you how to get the collar nice. It was a first for me. And the sleeves, I was very proud of this project. As you know, I've mentioned, I'm self-taught, and so when I achieve things like this, I'm very proud. So I'm trying to get my camera to zoom in, and I'd like to teach you the same. Right, so step 1, take the pants that already fit them. Step 2, whenever cloning clothes, and this is something I wish I had learned sooner, is to always turn them inside out. This helps you to see the seam allowance, and also gives you a better pattern when you fold it flat. Okay, so what you want to do is you're basically trying to get the pattern that you never bought from the last pair. So try as best as you can to line up the seams. I folded it over, and this would be for the, just have a look. So this is going to be the front section. Then I'm going to fold it the other way around. Same thing, lining up the seams. That'll be the front section, and then I'll show you how to piece it together. But first, let's see how to cut this out. Right, something else that perhaps might be common to some, but wasn't to me, is whenever the pattern, or you heard about somebody speaking about the bias, B-I-A-S, what they're referring to basically is this. It's where the material was basically cut off. Okay, there's my supervisor. And when they say to cut on the bias, they basically mean cut in the same direction as that. Obviously, this is very soft and comfy, and we have a fan. So it's always best to go on the bias, because material stretches in different ways. Obviously, some stretch the same direction, but it might have more pull to the one side and less to the other. So as much as you can, try and always cut on the bias. So we know for this, we are obviously going to be needing 2 sides. So what I'm going to do is fold this double. And I like to work easy. Instead of doing this twice, just fold it over as neat as I can. And then we only have to cut once, and we have our 2 sides. So there we have it. Then I'm going to place the pants on top. Always remember the seam allowance and give yourself some more space. The general rule which I found when increasing the pattern is to just add 1.5 centimeters to your pattern. So to make it easy, I just traced the pants exactly. I did put a mark where the hem allowance is, which I actually forgot about. I can actually just take this out and make it fit, so it still fits relatively comfortably around the waist. So for this pair, I can actually just take that out. I forgot about that. But I'll do the same for this, and you can have an extra pair of jammies, so we don't not just relying on the one. So what I'll do now is I'll add my 1.5 centimeters all the way around. I'm actually going to make that, oh, my camera goes blurry. I'm actually going to make that 2 centimeters just because of the hemming. When it comes to kids clothing, I do like to, as you can see, I double stitch and I do zigzag, as zigzag has allows for more of a stretch, because we know what kids are like, jumping, bending, doing squats and sit-ups and all those sorts of things. So I'm going to allow for a 2 centimeter addition. Okay, so as you can see, I've just made little dots using my tape measure, just going around and getting the extra 2 centimeters. And now all I'm going to do basically is join the dots. Okay, so the dots were joined and I cut the pattern out. It's still the same material. The lighting has just changed, so it looks a little bit darker. But there we have our front section. And just to give you an idea, that's what it will look like once we've sewn it together. And there we have the back section, which you can see will be longer at the crotch area. It will be the bigger side. And there we have the 2 pieces together. It's easy to see the right side and the wrong side of the fabric. There's the one side, I think this is the front, and the back. And I've clipped them both at the crotch area. We're going to sew them together, and then we should be left with this. You can see pants starting to appear. There we go. So we'll stitch those together, and then we'll stitch the side seams, and then we'll hem the bottom. Fleece is actually very nice. It's very easy to work with. It's a good beginner project as well. Okay, so the pants are done and sewn together. So we sewed the crotch on both sides, and then we sewed the inner leg, then hemmed it. Felt is really easy. You don't need an overlocker. I mean, that's a pretty neat finish, just folding it and sewing it over. Same with the inside. I sewed, so what I did here is just to leave a gap, literally fold it over and just stitch. It's the beautiful thing about felt, there's no need for an overlocker. So what I like to use is obviously a variety of different elastics. So this is your sort of standard one that I was thinking about. That's why I went for that size. But I found that, especially as jammies, this can become a little bit uncomfortable as they grow. So what I've been preferring for most of my projects, shirts and all sorts of things, is actually just this very thin, very, very stretchy scrunchy elastic that you use for hair bands. It still holds and it's very comfortable, can fit in any side. So obviously, for those that know, when you do this, you obviously sew and then you leave a gap. So what we do is a nice big safety pin on this side, and then I'll have to put another one in. This is a big hole, so you could actually, this is one of my frames, because this guy helps to not lose this. Make sure that it runs in the same direction. There's nothing worse or more irritating, in my opinion, than a twisted elastic band. So make sure that you put it on the same side. So literally just like that. I'm going to use the bigger one for this. And in we go. So in we go. And we're going to feed it all the way through. Very easy because you can feel it. So you pull and go round and round and round. We are back to our entrance, and we can see that we haven't twisted anything. So what we do now is we just unclip. Again, just make sure that you keep the same sides. You don't want, especially with this, it's quite difficult to see which is front and which is back. Okay, so those two guys can go over there. Now we've got these. I'm going to just put them together. So you can hand stitch, but what we'll do is just put them together, and then we are just going to stitch there and then close this up. Can you press the stop button? Press the screen. Say bye-bye.
This one?
That's
That one?
yeah.